Cruise news time. Well, the good news keeps on rolling in. A big breakthrough for Australia. A day to rejoice for bucket list cruisers and Australian cruisers. Plus, there's a Norwegian cruise ship that spent most of the evening last night stuck in the mud. Could you imagine this on your cruise? Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. And wow, I love it when good news comes in pairs. Don't they say that good news comes in threes? I don't know if they say that, but that's what I'm hoping for. We got the announcement yesterday of the lowering of the threat level here in the United States for cruise travel, which should be good for the cruise industry, should be good for cruise demand, should be good for should be good for a lot of cruise things. And then late last night, we started hearing word from down under, from the land of Oz, that the Australian government has finally lifted the cruise ban. Ding dong, the ban is dead. The ban is dead. I represent the Lollipop Guild. I'm so excited, not only for our friends in Australia, but I'm so excited for bucket list cruisers like myself. I can finally make my way to a land down under. It's exciting times. So officially, the cruise ban will end April the 17th, and we already have a couple cruise lines saying we're cruising. First and foremost, the P&O Australia, the Carnival Cruise Corporation brand, they will begin their sailings on May the 31st, 2022. They're going to be bringing into service their ship, the Pacific Explorer, and it will be doing a variety of cruises. It's going to start out in Sydney, doing 4-night round trip to Brisbane, and then later on in the season, Sydney to Queensland and South Pacific cruises until late October. And then another ship, the Pacific Adventure, will come online in October, and they'll do cruises from Sydney with Pacific Explorer moving over to do cruises from Adelaide. That's exciting. But that's not all. Carnival Corporation Cruise Line Princess Cruises will also be bringing a ship into service this year in Australia. Princess said that the Coral Princess will return to service in June of 2022 in Australia with round-trip Brisbane itineraries ranging from 3 to 12 days in length and calling to destinations in Queensland and New South Wales. And then in August, Coral Princess will position to Sydney and depart on 12-day voyage calling to Queensland, the Conflict Islands, Papua New Guinea, before resuming the previously announced Australia and New Zealand program for the 2022-2023 season. Look, to be honest, every day before the show, to get my head straight, I like to take a hot shower. And for the last 785 days, I've been listening to the Essential Minute Work playlist on Apple Music, all in the hopes that cruising would be returning to Australia. And I may have exaggerated the amount of days that I've listened to that playlist, but I have sporadically listened to the Minute Work playlist with hopes of the return of cruising in Australia. Here's a weird story. I'm going to share this with you, and you can judge me if you want. When I was a kid, my dad would mow the yard. And sometimes we lived in this yard that the grass would grow quick, and if you didn't mow it every week, then it would get out of hand, and sometimes it would get out of hand. And my dad would mow the yard, and there would be the biggest clumps of grass in this yard, and it was my job. It was my job to rake up those piles of grass and put them in garbage, and I hated it. I don't like being outside. I don't like yard work, and I hate any kind of work that somebody's making me do. So I was a petulant child. I was not very, anyway, I'm tying it back into my, what I did to bring the Australia cruising back. Sometimes when I would be raking, I would sing the Eurythmics, Here Comes the Rain Again. And I feel like at least 4 times during that, I made it rain and I got out of raking grass. But maybe 4 times out of 100. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you that I think that my commitment, my sparse commitment to the Minute Work playlist has brought cruising back in Australia. No thanks needed. I'm glad to do my part, but I'm just excited. Sorry for the dumb story. I'm just excited. Cruising coming back to Australia. And I would be interested to hear if you guys have any interesting mojo that you can affect reality like I do. Leave a comment below. And there's a lot to talk about in the cruise news. I just want to sit and just celebrate because so many days I've had to come on here and say, sorry, Australia, we've canceled more cruises. Let's just take it in. Again, for people stuck in Australia and New Zealand that haven't been able to cruise for a while, things are changing. That's exciting. And then they can join us in the cruising community, cruising again. And then again, there's a bunch of us bucket list chasers that Australia is on that bucket list. I've made so many virtual friends in Australia. I would love to go see what that's like. And I love the fact that it seems like that's going to be possible. And all right. How about that? One more big cruise news story to tell you about a Norwegian cruise ship stuck in the mud. And we had somebody on the cruise ship that was giving us live updates. So I'm going to give you the media side, but I'm also going to give you the somebody stuck on the cruise ship side. But first, let me invite you to subscribe. If you'd like to stay up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. That's the value prop. The value proposition. That's what we say in business. What am I going to get? What are you going to get? Well, what am I going to get is I'm going to get a larger amount of people to show the video to right when it comes out. And that's good for the channel, because if a lot of people watch the video in the first hour, then YouTube goes, oh, it must be a good video. But what do you get out of it? Well, you get notified when the new video comes out, and it gives you the opportunity to be some of the first people to watch the video. And if you're into that interaction, definitely in the first hour, I do my best to respond to comments, to acknowledge comments. And so that's the value prop. Be a part of the notification squad, and beyond that, be a part of the 18 million subscribers. I'm saying we already have it. Be a part of our 18 million subscribers. It doesn't look like that on the sub count, but that's how many we have. 18 million. I'm a boy with a dream. Thank you in advance. All right, let me tell you about the Norwegian Escape. She made a port of call stop yesterday at Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. And let me tell you what, the weather started getting rough and that tiny ship was tossed. And if it wasn't for the courage of the fearless crew, the Norwegian Escape would probably still be stuck in the mud. Somewhere along the way, the winds kicked up and it blew the Escape into a situation where she got stuck in the mud, and then the tide went down, and there was a whole evening worth of tugboats trying to pull the Norwegian Escape out of the mud, and apparently she got freed. And she's going to stay in Puerto Plata today. The guests are going to be able to get off and do another day of excurting or exploring or whatever you want to do at port while they inspect the ship. But operations were not ceased, and the passengers, other than having a great story to tell and an extra day in Puerto Plata, they're probably not that impacted. We did have a friend on the Lido Loca cruising community. I don't know if you're familiar with the Lido Loca cruising community, but that's kind of a place where people that are part of the Loca fam, that's where you can gather up, talk about your cruising stories. We try to keep it not too argumentative in there, so it's more like a fun place to post pictures of your cruise, and so you're welcome to join. Go to Facebook, search for the Lido Loca cruising community. Also search for our Lido Loca cruising page. Join up both of those. It doesn't cost anything, but then you would have gotten the updates on the NCL Escape like I did. I'm going to read the post real quick just to tell you what it was like on the cruise ship, and then I've got a question for you. Hold on a second. Let me pull up the post. I should have been prepared. All right, this post started 14 hours ago from Russ Robar on the NCL Escape. He said, currently aboard the NCL Escape, leaving the port of Puerto Plata, we've become stuck in the mud. They've been working for close to 2 hours to get us unstuck. Everything is going as usual, has been and continues to be an amazing cruise. Captain has kept us updated. Update number 1, it's 12:24 a.m. and we're on the move. There's some pretty big bumps and the movements of the ship with the tugs helping to pull us. We have begun to move forward and it looks like we're heading to sea. Update number 2, it's now 1:13 a.m. and we have turned around and are back in the channel, and it looks like we're heading back to the dock. And then we have an update from 8:30 a.m. this morning. We're still docked in Puerto Plata. The captain just came on and said they're inspecting the ship below the waterline for damage. They're letting the passengers go ashore from 9:30 to 3:30. No further updates at this time than that. Everything continues to be otherwise totally normal, which is awesome. Russ, thank you so much for posting to the Facebook group. I sure do appreciate it. It does give you some insight. What do you think? How would you feel if you got stuck in the mud? That seems unusual, but life happens, right? The winds pick up and you get stuck. At least you weren't there for 4 or 5 TV seasons or however long that show was. Leave a comment below. What's the thing that you're scared the most of? No power at sea, stuck in the mud, fire, flooding. There's some anxiety when it comes to cruising. I think no power at sea scares me the most. That's the one I think that I would be most concerned about. Anyways, that's fodder for the comments. Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. I hope you enjoyed it. Whoo! I haven't even started on my coffee yet, y'all. Today is Duncan. I haven't even really started on my coffee yet, but I'm just excited. I'm high on the Australia news. Isn't that awesome? I could pet a koala bear sometime in my life. All right. Please hit the like button. That's what I'm trying to say. And look, if you do not hit the like button, I will be forced to punish you. And your punishment is this. Every cruise that you go on for the next 4 cruises will run aground. And you'll get an extra day to excursion in Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. What's your favorite excursion there? I don't know. Hit the like button. It's Tony for Lido, Loca. Until the next time. See you on the... All right, let me tell a story. I guess I won't get out of here right now. Did you guys see the breaking news yesterday? Hold on, I gotta go get something. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So if you saw the breaking cruise news yesterday, let me just give you the behind the scenes. If you've stayed this long, good for you. The behind the scenes is this. I woke up from my nap yesterday and I read that there's alerts on my phone. I'm like, oh my goodness, the CDC has dropped the threat level. Let me go tell people about it. And normally before I film the show, I take a shower and I listen to Men at Work. And I did not do that. I just came and I started recording. And look, some of you astutely pointed out, it looked like there was something in my beard. And you were correct. So if anybody is curious about the mystery of what was in my beard, well, it was the remnants of hot sauce. I had some chicken wings for lunch, and I put some of my favorite hot sauce on the chicken wings. Apparently it smeared in my beard, and when I got up from my nap to film the show, it was still there. So you guys got a bonus yesterday. You got some bonus facial makeup, I guess, in the form of hot sauce. Did you spot it? Make sure you watch it. But if you're curious, and I'm almost out, it was Crystal, my favorite Louisiana hot sauce. Not sponsored. Look, I'm almost out of Crystal. What's your favorite hot sauce from Louisiana or anywhere else? That's what it was. Mystery solved. This is Tony for Lido Loca. Until the next time, see you on Lido. Bye.